Some of the people there didn't like that, but I didn't feel we needed the 0.5% sales tax increase because I believe the economy is getting better and that it should have waited to see how tax collections are this year and next year before doing any type of increases, because lo and behold, we may find out that the tax collections are as good as they were 2-3 years ago. The other thing I see in the county is just like the state of Ohio, everything's being shifted down to the local level. And in the end, we all as residents and taxpayers end up paying more taxes or have more cuts because the guys above us want to balance their budget and look good. Several of the other candidates alluded to this, but I'll tell you the city of Eastlake lost $1.5 million that the governor just took from us in the form of local government fund and other funds that we were to receive for the next 10 years. The local government fund really forever, but the other funds for the next 10 years. In spite of that, as mayor, I've made the tough decisions. We started off when I was mayor, 154 employees. We now have 101. So I also believe that increasing taxes of any kind should be the last resort after you exhaust all other avenues. And sometimes you do have to do it, but it should be the last resort. And that's what we've done in Eastlake. All of you have read over the years our fiscal problems with the stadium, with the fiscal emergency and how we worked our way out of that. And we did that without raising taxes. Now it was painful, and I'm not the best loved guy in Eastlake with our employees because we did have to cut. But we did manage our budget. We have a balanced budget for every year that I've been mayor. I will fight to make sure of this, that at the county level, the costs are not pushed down to the cities. If it's a county cost, it should be taken care of by the county and not shifted to the cities and the villages. And I'll give you a couple examples. We just had a new telecommunication system put in by the county. And it cost the city of Eastlake $750,000. That's a cost that should have been borne by the county. In today's tight economic times, the county needs a leader who understands finances. I worked for a bank for many years. I worked for an insurance company for many years. In Eastlake, we've survived even though we've had challenges and tough economic conditions. And that's what I'll do as your Lake County Commissioner. Thank you very much.
You can stay standing up or by the podium since it's only you. I don't think it really matters. If you're comfortable sitting, you can sit.
That's all right, I'll stand up here.
All right.
I like walking around. I'm an excitable person.
There has been, as I'm sure you know, a push to promote what we think of as regionalism. And by that, I do not mean merely like two fire departments sharing a piece of equipment, but the idea that we would consolidate and combine the governance of all the counties in northeastern Ohio and the tax monies with a kind of an overall bureaucracy and what we think of as a czar who might even be appointed, not elected, to administer things. What is your position on that?
Absolutely, regionalization, combining cities, counties, or not counties, cities, villages, townships is necessary. And I hope to see it in my lifetime. I see signs out there that the people are demanding it now rather than before where it was just an afterthought. I have had discussions with the mayors of Willoughby, Willoughby Hills, Eastlake, Wickliffe and Willowick. We've talked about for several years a West End communication center, dispatch, police, fire, jail, shooting range, and all that, where we would take all of that and put it in one place. I think that's coming. Recently in our Mayors and Managers Association, we are applying for a grant so that we can get a study going as to how this would be accomplished and where it can be located, etc. So I am an absolute believer in regionalization. I think it's going to come. It's going to be all of you out there who are going to push it. And I'll tell you where the biggest pushback is going to come from, and that's from your police and fire departments. So until you can get the police and fire departments to band together and as one, that's where your toughest pushback. But it's going to come from the people demanding that cities, townships, villages combine and save money.
As I'm sure you're probably aware, the county commissioners presently have a policy of accepting the matricular consular card as a valid form of ID. That is, I don't know if you're aware, but that is a card that the Mexican consulate gives to people. And they have, as I understand it, basically instructed the sheriff's department to honor that and to not, say, arrest people who seem to have no form of United States ID on them. And I wanted to know, what is your position on that card? Should it be recognized?
I'm going to answer the same way I did on the questionnaire. I'm sure all of you are going to get the questionnaire if you haven't seen it already. And I have not done any research on that. And I don't like to speak on something unless I have a grasp of what's going on and what the issues are. So I hope, I'm not trying to avoid the question, I'll answer it at another time, but as a city official, we not have to face that in Eastlake. Now, I'll say this, and I did comment on the questionnaire about this. I believe in immigration, but I believe that you have to do it legally. If you want to come into our country, great, come on in. But do it the way our ancestors did it. Go through the process of applying to come in our country. When you come into our country, have the means to support yourself, either through your family or through a job, and don't rely on the government right away as soon as you come into our country. So again, I'm not avoiding the question. I didn't research that, nor have I faced it yet. Okay?
That's something that you mentioned earlier. If you expound on it a little more fully, what is your position regarding the increase in sales tax and the rollback of property tax and the grocery tax?
Okay. The 0.5% sales tax, again, I'll reiterate, I was absolutely against, and I said that at our meeting we had a few weeks ago, and I know it cost me a lot of support, but that's just the way I feel. I see as the mayor of Eastlake that things are picking up a little. I believe that it should have waited another year at least to see how the economy and how the sales tax revenues come in for this year. And I believe that if it was necessary, it should be the final thing that you do. You first look at revenues, you then look at cutting expenses, and then at last resort, you do something with the tax increase. So my view is it should not have been done until until you saw this year how things were working. Now the property tax rollback, absolutely I'm in favor of that. We need some tax relief to our residents. The more money you can put out there for people to spend, to buy things, to invest, the better our economy will be. So I was for the rollback, but I know they combine that with the sales tax. Let me talk a little bit about stormwater management. Years ago, the county approached the city of Eastlake, as well as other cities, and wanted us to join the stormwater management program. When we looked at it and said, what are we getting for our money? We said, no thank you, because the fee to every household in Eastlake would have been anywhere from $9 to $30. And then we would have given all that money to the county, and the county decides what to do with it, not necessarily give the back money to Eastlake. So what we did is, because we had to, I don't know if anybody knows this, but every city had to come up with a storm management program through the APA requirements. So we did our own storm management program, and we asked our residents for $6 a year. And we take every penny of that and put it back into the community in the stormwater projects. We just did one on Edwards Avenue. We had an area of the city that was experiencing flooding, and we completely did their storm sewers, and we used the stormwater management money to do that. So be careful. We're always careful when the county asks us to join something, because we want to know if we're going to get our money's worth for our residents. And I'm always a big stickler of let's look what's best for the residents, not necessarily what's good for the big government.
Federal grants often come with mandates and strings and that kind of thing attached. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, federal grants, I mean, grants are good, but you do have to watch what the strings are attached to them. And I'll, so answer the question directly, if as county commissioner I had a chance, or we had a chance to apply for a federal grant, we're going to go for it. It's free money. Someone's going to apply for it. Someone's going to have to get it. However, you got to watch, and I'll give you an example. There is